This video will be about random pieces of leadership advice to help you make 2025 your best and most successful year ever. So working with emerging leaders for over 10 years now, through workshops, through coaching, video courses, through my podcast, through this YouTube channel as well, I've had a really good look and insight into what makes you successful, into what you need to do in order to move up into leadership. Now, most of the videos on my YouTube channel are actually tailored for very specific advice, like how to be more articulate or why high potentials always get promoted. So I thought in today's video, it would be fun to do bits of general advice, to give you random pieces of advice to help you make 2025 your best year ever. And we're starting with a really helpful routine for team leaders to get into, and that is to have regular, preferably weekly check-ins with your team. This is probably one of the most useful things that you can do to build better relationships and stronger relationships with people in your team. But I think it is too often neglected because team leaders get caught up in the day-to-day tasks they need to get done, or even in the big goals that they need to achieve. And they forget that from time to time, a little bit of maintenance is required when it comes to people in their team and nurturing those relationships with the people in their team. The advantages of this is you can get valuable insights and information from your team as to what is working and what is not working, and you can get that advice on a regular basis. And you can adjust the workload of people in your team, you can adjust the tasks that they're working on. You can even get a chance to adjust your leadership style if you find out that the leadership style you're currently using with people in your team isn't working that well. It gives you that point of adjustment so you don't go on too long doing the wrong things and creating a bad or a negative work environment for your team. It also helps you to build a good connection with your team, like I mentioned before, and this is basically because you are letting your team know that they're not alone. You're checking in with them every week so they know that in those weekly check-ins they can come to you with any questions they have. They can tell you about any problems they're facing. They can get advice from you on a regular basis as well. This basically helps them to feel not alone in their journey and in their career too. Now, the good thing for you is when you do these weekly check-ins, they don't need to be lengthy discussions. You don't need to allocate half an hour or 30 minutes to each person at all. That is going to be way too much time, and you will not have the time to do that as a team leader, especially not on a weekly basis. So you only need to do it for 5 minutes, and there are 3 questions that you need to ask them. Question 1 is what's working and what is not working. Question 2, what blocks are in your way and how can I help clear them? Number 3, do you need any information or data that you are not getting right now? And the best practice here is to keep your questions as broad as possible because you want to give your team maximum freedom to answer exactly how they want. This is the only way you're going to be able to get answers from them that you never saw coming, answers from them that you had never imagined before. Random tip number 2 is to start using your performance review planner to help you move towards the leadership goals that you have, which is in many cases to get promoted. You need to impress your boss and you need to let them know what you have accomplished in your career, what achievements you have made. The thing I see over and over again is that people don't plan for their performance reviews. They approach their performance reviews in a really passive way. They don't share with your boss the accomplishments that they have made. Their boss walks away from that performance review having no idea of the value that person, that individual has brought to the team or has brought to the company. And the result is they don't get the recognition they deserve, they don't get the pay rise they want, and they don't get the promotion that they've been waiting for. Yet, other employees, their co-workers, more organized employees who have prepared for this performance review, they get that promotion that they have been working towards. They get promoted ahead of those co-workers who approach their performance reviews in a passive way. So I encourage you to use the Performance Review Planner, which is a document I have prepared for you. You can download it from a link in the description below. I talked about this document in a recent video where I discussed performance reviews. The video was titled Performance Reviews, Things to Talk About in Your End of Year Evaluation 2024. So the link to this performance review planner is in the description to this video. Basically, this document helps you track all of the information that you need to talk about during your performance review so that your boss can walk away from that performance review meeting knowing exactly the value that you are contributing to the company, which will give you a much better chance of getting the recognition that you deserve. I encourage you to use this performance review planner as a running document and update it throughout the year. So whenever you have an accomplishment, for example, you add it into this performance review planner. If you download it, you will see exactly what I mean. The template is pretty self-explanatory. There are sections for every quarter and you can update it as you go throughout the year. So at the end of the year, you know exactly what you're going to talk about with your boss. The next piece of advice I have for you is related to your knowledge building. Now, this will be continued in the next point as well, but you might have heard the phrase, leaders are readers. I've heard this phrase many times. I've read it in many articles. I have no idea who said it. So if you do know who came up with this phrase or who says this phrase, let me know in the comments below. Basically, what this phrase means is that every successful leader you come across, they build their knowledge through reading. This allows them to learn from experts in different fields so that they themselves can become smarter and more successful in their career. As I've explained in other videos, having a broad knowledge base is critical as you move up into the C-suite because you're overseeing many different departments in a company. You need to have a solid understanding of how each of those departments work and how they work together as well. And gaining a broad understanding or a broad knowledge base will definitely help you with this. It's for this reason that successful leaders don't read the same material all of the time. They get their advice from a variety of different subjects, from a variety of different genres, from a variety of different material. And this is the only thing that helps them build the broad knowledge base that they need. Some leaders are time poor and they use services like short form where they can get detailed book guides that will give them the key points from that book in the most summarized way possible. I use short form myself and I found it incredibly helpful with my knowledge building. Others prefer reading physical books or even Kindle, and they've mastered speed reading, which allows them to read those books in the fastest way possible. How you read is not really important. What is important is that you do read and that you read from a broad reading list. I encourage you to look at the books that you've been reading over the last 6 months. Are those books from the same genre? Are they the same type of book that you've been reading? If they are, then I encourage you to branch out and to broaden your reading materials and try to choose genres or subjects that you've never thought about reading before. And if you want to check out short form to improve your efficiency when reading, I will put a special link in the description to this video, which will give you 5 days free access to short form so you can try it out, and it will also give you 20% off the annual subscription fee. Now, tying in with the previous point, you also need to become a knowledge building guru. Now, what this means is when you have finished reading the book, or maybe it's an article online that you're reading, you need to find a way to record the key points that you have identified. As I said before, many leaders are time poor, and a really quick way to record the key points that you've been reading is to highlight them as you read. You can either do this physically if you have a physical book, or you can do this digitally if you're reading on a Kindle or if you're reading an article online. I actually use both methods. So if I'm reading a physical book, I'll get out my physical highlighter. I will highlight the key points that I want to remember and I want to record. Then once I finish the book, I will put those highlights into Obsidian, which is my note-taking app, and that's where I store the highlights and the key points that I want to remember. If I'm reading something digitally, then I do highlighting as well, but for this, obviously I can't use a physical highlighter. I use Readwise, which is an amazing app that really allows you to highlight things digitally. So this could be on Kindle if you're reading a Kindle, or a web article if you're reading a web article. You highlight things digitally. Those highlights are recorded into your Readwise account and they're stored there for as long as you have your Readwise account. Then you can also export them to Obsidian, which is my note-taking app. If you use a different note-taking app, I'm sure they have the export options for that as well. Regardless of which highlighting method I'm using, my highlights always end up in Obsidian, like I said, the note-taking app of my choice. And this is where I can organize them. This is where I can review them. This is where I can add notes. This is where I can find them back if I want to use them in, say, a YouTube video or a podcast episode or maybe a video course that I'm creating. This method of knowledge building has been absolutely instrumental to my work this year, something that I've discovered and I've introduced into my work this year in 2024. I know a lot of other people who have adopted this method as well, who have had amazing success and amazing productivity lifts by using this knowledge building method. So I encourage you to try it out, find your own method that works best for you. If you do have your own method that you already use, I'd love to know what it is, so write it in the comments below. If you want to check out Readwise to record your own highlights, and another thing that Readwise does is it gives you access to Reader, which is their sister app, and that allows you to record and to store articles or any kind of resources you found on the internet, on the web, that you might want to read later. So I use it for that as well, to really record and to store articles that I find but I don't have time to read right away, but I will read later on. So I will put a discount link for Readwise in the description below. This will give you 60 days free access to Readwise, which will give you access to Readwise and Reader as well. Check that out in the description below. Now, one of the things that I've found in business is that it's really easy to develop short-term focus and to neglect the long-term focus that you need to have. So for example, when you land a job, you go through a period of learning how to do that job. What are the tasks that you need to perform? How can you perform those tasks well? How can you impress your boss? You go through a period of learning how to do the short-term goals, the short-term things that you need to do for your job to excel at your job. But quite often, once you've mastered those things, the learning stops there. And this is where a lot of people begin to feel stuck in their career. They might start to get bored with their job because they no longer find it stimulating, or they no longer find it exciting. Or they might see other people get promoted ahead of them because they haven't spent time upskilling themselves so that they are ready for those next level promotion opportunities. Basically, they've reached a point in their career where they don't move any further. They're stuck in their career. And through my experience, this is because they've spent too much time focusing on the short-term goals and the short-term skills that they need to build, and they don't spend any time or very little time developing long-term goals or looking at the long-term skills they need to develop in order to upskill and move up to those next level opportunities. Whereas if you focus on both the long-term and the short-term goals, you make moves towards both of them at the same time, then that's when you can actually develop the skills that you need to move up to those next level and higher level opportunities. You can learn what skills you need to be considered for that job. You can start to learn those skills and demonstrate them so that your boss sees that you have them. And you can also start to make connections with the right people who can help you achieve those long-term goals that you have. By focusing on the short term and on the long term, by making moves for both the short and the long term, this is the only way you can achieve in the now and also into the future. And this is a really smart way to make sure that you will never be stuck in your career. If you enjoyed this video, firstly, thank you for watching. And secondly, you will enjoy these two videos up here, which will help you to further advance your career into leadership. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in one of these videos.